Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and got an interesting game here. I thought might as well have a look at it because it's actually something that looks really, really interesting for me. When I normally see a pawn, I go, oh, pawns, ooh, and then we can see a pawn here. Although it's an interesting shape, isn't it, this one? I guess. A modernization of a pawn on a board. We'll see. First time creator here from Sweden. I've put it in dollars here just for everyone's ease of use, but it's actually in the Swedish krone that it's a thing. And I don't know if I've seen this until very late, but it's 7 days to go. And it's successful and all that stuff. So yeah, with 1,000 backers, doing pretty good. Now it says there's a Victorian horror board game called The Presence, which is a game of trust, tragedy, and the unknown. A semi-cooperative game of one versus all or one with all. So, Now, thing that grabbed me, yeah, so it has been going a while. 13 stretch goals already unlocked. Interesting. 2 to 5 players. 2-hour experience. Now, what first got me here is interesting art, Victorian house here, and it's big on the table. Look at this, 2 boards. You come in the Great Hall, the parlour to your left, which is the TV room, dining room to the right, kitchen and library. You go up the stairs then, and you go into the bedroom or the... What's that? I can't really see that. Mass room? Oh, music room. Music room. I guess that's the office. Is it the shelfie? I don't know what that's saying there. This one's obviously bathroom. And I think this one at the bottom is going down into the basement, is it? Oh, I don't know what this is. But this looks like a ladder anyway of things going down. It's looking pretty cool. You can see the pawns moving around the rooms and stuff. It looks nice. And it has this dark, sinister... There's the cellar bit down here. There you go. All right. Now look at these giant cards. That's like longer than a tarot card. It's so interesting. Veiled in moonlight. This ethereal character here, the woman in white, looks interesting. So if you're in the same room as her, it's once per round when a victim suffers the horror, and instead of increasing a die, you may draw a card here. That's for the inspired dreamer, or the streak of moonlight. While playing a card, you may discard another card to reduce the threshold threat by it by rolling dice. The dice itself here, you can see, are pretty interesting. They're certainly not rounded corner. The square edge dice, which we're seeing more often these days. But it's kind of the art. It's evocative of the era, and it looks really nice. That kind of lighting as if you're holding a lantern. You don't get this light we're used to with electricity, and it has this kind of interesting, the gradient of the light in the art is appearing on the cards as well, which makes it look interesting. Anyway, so one of the characters here, the professor, suffering horror here, does not increase the spirit dice. You cannot be comforted by other victims. And whenever you have 3 horror, I think it's horror, draw 2 cards and lose the whole this whole ability. So, and I like this kind of fluff text. Simply ridiculous. There are no such things as ghosts. We shall see. So are they drawn into the house because there's a haunting? It says it's a true ghost horror experience developed with tension and unease. It needs to have a soundtrack, doesn't it? All art made by humans. There needs to be a ban on this. There's a country in Europe, isn't it, that brought an art ban in? So I imagine this is going to go around the world. Just ban UI art right out the gate. But I guess we're going to have these signs up. They should tell us who the artist is, shouldn't they? I mean, I think it's on the box there. But interesting presence that it has on the table. You can see this look. It looks very, very cool. But kind of a brown, but an interesting brown of the house using incandescent lighting. The atmosphere of the game is amazing. And the game mechanics are well designed. From Enoch Fryexelius from Fryex Games, who did Terraforming Mars. Okay. The presence is, in reality, 2 games, one for each side of existence, in the real world and in the afterlife. So, weird stuff going on. Now, warning, this game deals with mature, difficult themes. It does not shy away from death, realism, and human tragedy. If you experience discomfort by any of these topics, consider staying away. That's an interesting warning. So we do have a warning on this. The spirit is either good or evil. Can you trust it? Over 80 horrifying spirit powers. Ooh. Players 1 of 4 spirits in character choice or 8 visitor characters. Over 100 unique art pieces. Excellent. Unique and unnerving rules for communication, meaning you can't talk if you're in the other side of the house. Experience the emergent gameplay of a single session, or play through 5 scenarios in the narrative campaign. This sounds delicious, doesn't it? The visitors win by deduction and cooperation. So the question, what is in the box? Hang on, $56? Wow! That's retail. That's coming to retail, is it? Is this the retail box we now have our detective eyes on to see if this is worthy of kickstarting? I've not gone down this page fully, so I don't know. It's just piqued my interest so much. I don't know if there's like a deluxification thingy. The board looks beautiful. I love the art. The attention to detail here looks great. I love it. Look at these visitors. Wonderful. Capturing this timeline. Fantastic. The different spirits. Wow. So cool. On these giant cards. Look at these item cards with fantastic drawn pictures inside. Looks great. The spirit action cards have their own haunting. Look at these. They look great, don't they? As you're going to be trying to put fear into everybody, this is going to be such a great character to play. Piano music. I love it. So lots of action cards. Clues, fear cards, secret cards, display spirit cards. Aid cards, of course, 11 spirit cards, 7 scenario objects, 30 event cards, the spirit pawn itself, and the pawn visitors. It's funny, the pawn visitors, because they're not using a generic shape, are they? And I think it's like a nod to Clue, isn't it? That they're using pawns, but they've kind of updated them in an interesting way, and it gives it an interesting look. It might be evocative from a board game that was played back then. Hint, hint. Love that they have these spirit dice. They look wonderful. I'm massively impressed with this. But I'm looking at it as, yeah, it looks really good, but can I not just pick this up at retail and get cheaper shipping, possibly free shipping from Amazon, right? The visitors win by locating and revealing each secret of the spirit's past. They must, to reveal a secret safely, they must first find and discard clues beneath it. All right, so you can see these big cards that that's like a lock. And you've got to find all the clues that are underneath this in order to unlock that, essentially. Now, the spirit will win by fulfilling its hidden goal and may be acting with or against the visitors. So is the ghost going to be friendly, or is it you don't know going in. So the good spirit will soon lose control, while an evil spirit will grow stronger. This is the ladder of events that's going on here. You can see the visitor here moving around, very nice. As a visitor, you will explore the manor looking for clues and information. Each visitor will have their own set of action cards and unique powers. Ooh, I like it. You may only speak to your fellow visitors if near each other. If separate, you are on your own, so you have to be in the same room. Each visitor carries a candle, a small protection against the spirit's influence. Again, it's dark, isn't it? And electricity, so you are moving around with this candle. Beware, open flames smother easily, so I think this person, there's like a wind that's blowing the candle out in the library. Dun 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 dun! Who did that? It must be the ghost! Ah! So how does this work then? If there's four of you around the table and you're in the same room, have you got to whisper to each other? I mean, you can't relay information. So it's a really cool setup, isn't it? As a spirit, you are placed in several places at once, represented by your die. You play cards from your own set of powers. Again, there's unique powers to each ghost. And limited by the amount of presence that you have in a room. You will use darkness to gain power over the visitors, to either aid or deceive them. Delicious. And an evil spirit may play nice for a while and a good spirit may turn on the visitors. So there's like this big unpredictability on what's going on. Remember, they're not going to know which the spirit is until they've unlocked the clues and stuff. And I guess once you've got all the clues unlocked, you have enough then to exorcise the spirit. This is disturbing, isn't it? A spirit talking board. If you're up for an extra challenge, let the spirit communicate only through our special spirit talking board. This looks demonic. I wouldn't even put this as an extra. This is horrible. It really is a horrible thing. Get some extra dice. If you're going to be playing with the full playthrough, so you're not passing dice around the table. This is nice. Art prints is horrible. You really want to put ghost pictures up in your room? But I mean, you could put these up if you're playing the games. Want to add more theme? They're fairly big. It says art print postcards. Is a postcard 15 centimeters long? It's like a big postcard. All right, so they're not suggesting anything's Kickstarter friendly, Kickstarter unique or anything like that. So we'll look at these stretch goals. Some extra cards, extra items, token linen finish, a unique pawn, extra fear cards. The dice are going to get unique. Some more items. The bags win velvet. Boards getting stronger. Wrapped. Alternate dark room art on the backside. Ooh. Token upgrade to black board. Wooden fear screen trank. And then there's more to come. So, a gift for all Kickstarter backers. We'll send out a do-it-yourself visitor standees PDF to you so you can print and make your own standees. They are not going to give you plastic stands. Oh, that would have been a nice add-on, wouldn't it, to upgrade from pawns to standees? That's what I would have expected. But again, I think this is destined for retail. Right, so you've got quite a lot of videos if you want to read more about it. But I think there is enough here for you to do a bit more research. But again, I don't think it's coming. I don't think it's, unless you're really jazzed about it, I don't think you might want to be backing it instantly. for me, I would wait for final reviews and then pick it up at retail, because it's not pushing itself towards a Kickstarter per se. It's more of a pre-order, it feels like, but it's certainly an interesting game. And normally when we're coming towards Gen Con, we get like a massive list of games, and I think The Presence is definitely something that would go on my watch list. And hopefully it will get upgraded to my wish list once we get reviews out. But when's it going to deliver? Next year. Wow. I didn't actually check the shipping. Let me just press shipping. Let me just see how much if it comes up. Yeah, they just don't put Mexico in here. What is all that about? I normally contact them if I'm getting a game and they just say, oh yeah, sorry, we didn't put it in the list. Like, they just forget to do it. But like I said, I think it's bound for retail, and you'll be able to pick it up in time, but obviously you might get it early here, and you might get it cheaper, of course, all that stuff. But I think all these stretch goals are just going to go into the retail box, and if anything, it's just green-lighting the fact that people wanted it, and I think it will go to retail eventually, if not picked up already by a publisher, because it's definitely unique enough and has that charm. So hey, The Presence, you have a Victorian horror game, which looks fantastic, where one can play a spirit that has all these unique powers to haunt the crap out of your players around the table. It sounds delicious. Want to see a soundtrack? Absolutely do. And I think it sounds wonderful. Like you're going to be there to exorcise a spirit as well as a team, because there are a lot of one versus many. This one's kind of interesting. It's because you are a ghost that has powers and you're moving around and actively trying to scare people. And I think that's its spin. And I think it does sound wonderful. I'll keep it on my radar. But for example, I've got Beast, which is a one versus many. And when you're a beast, you've got the you upgrading your powers, you're getting stronger. You'll eventually attack the hunters. It's more combat focused. Whereas here, the one versus many, you are actually going to be frightening them. And that sounds delicious, doesn't it? But with Beast, it's gone into this massive Kickstarter monster of a game, hasn't it now? It's blossomed into a giant. If you look at the second Kickstarter on GameFound Late Pledge, it's gone into miniatures everywhere, and it's become this massively pimped out crowdfunding game now. So maybe Presence has to go through that journey where the second Kickstarter will then start thinking, hey, we know we've got reviews out, it's getting fantastic reviews, we're going to have to pimp it out because everybody doesn't like pawns, for example. That might be the route of this game, and I think it is destined to go that way, actually. It would be great to see. I'm surprised we don't get these standees, these acrylic standees, and they would look fantastic as well, because the ghosts seem to be taller. They would look great. Standees, if they were bigger as well, just to scare the crap out of people. And at the end of the day, the pawns are there to keep the price down, but they're really not what your average Kickstarter backer wants. So yeah, keep your eye on this. I think it's got a nice journey to go through, and just with my connoisseur philosophy, I think this is one to wait until it returns to Kickstarter, because it might be doing extra stuff when it does come back. And if it does come back anyway, we might see more ghosts and more characters and more good stuff coming with it. But as a first-time Kickstarter, it is looking generally great, and I think we would recommend it if you're looking for this kind of ghostly experience. But for me, I think it's going to come out with a second Kickstarter with all kinds of pimpness, and I would have to back it again to get all of this stuff. So I think I'm playing the long game with The Presence. But anyway, it's looking genuinely unique, fantastic. I'd love to play it. Ooh, yeah, baby. There we go. I do have excitement for it, but again, I'll play the long game. I'll keep an eye on you, The Presence. Don't you worry. But let me know your thoughts on the presents. Are you interested in becoming a spirit ghost to scare the crap out of everybody? Does sound fun, doesn't it? And all that good stuff. Leave your comments down below. If you got this far in the video, please give it a thumbs up and all that good stuff. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy. You take care. Hang on, this is Kickstarter Radio 102.4. You take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now. Ooh, don't let the bed bugs scare you. Ooh.